Hello. Thank you for attending the Bedford Freeman and Worth Science presentation on Principles of Life. Principles of Life Second Edition is co-published by Sinauer Associates and Bedford Freeman and Worth. You may be asking yourself, why should I adopt from BFW High School? Well, I'm happy to tell you that we're committed to excellence within all of our programs. You've already taken a look at the student edition of Principles of Life, and I'm sure you're excited of all the resources that are available. But I'm happy to tell you that our instructor resource package is even more robust. And in addition to that, we provide ongoing support for teachers throughout the year. And of course, we're associated with a number of leading science organizations. BFW High School is part of the Holt Spring Publishing Group. Some of our sister companies include Scientific American, Hayden McNeil, Sapling Learning. And your relationship with BFW starts with Sarah Bumgardner. She is your publisher's representative and is very excited to work with you throughout this adoption process. My name is Julie Rupert, and I'm the high school science marketing manager, and I'm happy to tell you about Principles of Life today. If you have any questions following this presentation, our contact information is listed on screen, and we're happy to answer any questions you might have. But let's get started. We'll talk about Principles of Life, the second edition, go into the authors, spend some time with the instructor resources, and touch on the student program. Then we'll dive into our ebooks and end with professional development. Principles of Life has 4 authors, David Hillis, David Sadova, Richard Hill, and Mary Price. Their extensive biographies are available on our website. I want to go a little out of order today and tell you about the Teachers Program. We'll start with the Teachers Edition, look at the Teachers Resource Flash Drive, and talk a little bit about our Exam View Assessment Suite. Our Teachers Edition was written for AP Biology teachers by AP Biology teachers. There are several authors of the book, all listed on screen, and if you've taken an AP Summer Institute or perhaps attended a workshop at one of the national conferences throughout the year, you'll likely recognize some of these names. Here is the very beginning of Chapter 15. Each chapter opens with a comprehensive feature called the Roadmap for Teaching, which distills the chapter context so you can plan your lessons a little more efficiently. Here you'll find at-a-glance information about the content in the coming chapter, including what you could omit if you find yourself short on time. You'll notice right here we have the chapter overview, which is a brief explanation of the focus of the chapter and the big ideas emphasized in the chapter. College Board resources are listed over here, which is a concise listing of any related free response questions from past exams that are located on AP Central. But the chapter outline is what I think you might be most excited about. You'll notice in red everything that is not necessary for the exam. Green, all of the essential content. And yellow are topics that are important but not necessary if you're short on time. And who isn't short on time? If you have a snow day or an assembly or standardized testing or any other one of the many reasons why your students might not be in class, take a look at this feature within the chapter roadmap. If you're short on time, it tells you what absolutely must be covered within that chapter. And then when you dive into the chapter itself, you'll see the extensive wraparound content. We'll spend a little more time on each feature, but I just want you to see the wealth of features available within every single page. You'll see AP Exam Tips, which is a valuable feature containing pointers and reminders about critical AP Biology content and skills. Common misconceptions are included to help teachers, especially new teachers, anticipate concepts that are often confusing for students. Doing science is one of my favorites, because doing science doesn't mean that students have to be in the lab, but it does mean that they should be actively engaged in thinking like scientists. So this feature has questions and exercises that provide teachers with ideas for making their classroom more active and for incorporating science skills and practices, such as constructing models, predicting and evaluating evidence, and justifying in their classroom every single day. You'll also see that we have mini labs, short labs, usually less than 15 minutes, that demonstrate particular concepts at hand. We have science literacy, which is especially important if your students are spending more time writing than usual, because this feature is designed to help students develop the critical reading skills that are emphasized on the AP Biology exam. We also have flipping the classroom feature, which is very exciting if this is something that you've never done before. We can get you started. And you've probably noticed that some of the features are completely grayed out. This is to illustrate even more clearly what is outside of the scope. All of the answers, of course, are written right within the margins, and more in-depth answers are available within your teacher resource materials on your flash drive. These are the pacing guides. You may have seen them within the roadmap for teaching, but what the pacing guides are suggested guides for the concepts that should be taught within the chapter. They're available for a traditional schedule, a block schedule, and also by big idea. Like I said earlier, all of the outside of the scope content is shaded in gray to help you focus on the content your students need to know to do well on the exam. Doing science. Questions and exercises in this category will provide teachers with ideas for incorporating science skills and practices within their classroom. Also, to note, each exercise lists which science practice it satisfies. Mini labs, short labs that demonstrate the tie-in to particular concepts at hand. Getting started. These are 1 to 3 questions designed to provide opportunities to practice writing, thinking about ethical and social connections within biology, and integrating interdisciplinary awareness into the course. Here's a close-up on science literacy, which includes carefully chosen primary and secondary scientific literature paired with short sets of guided questions to help students develop critical reading skills. Also, all of the learning objectives, the official AP Biology curriculum learning objectives, are identified for each key concept that covers material that is on the AP exam. Here are a few examples of AP exam tips. And remember the authors of this book. These tips are coming from AP workshop leaders, AP exam readers, and leaders within the community. In addition to the AP tips, we also have general teacher-to-teacher tips that focus on the general teaching in biology. There are common misconceptions throughout the entire book, and these will identify and clarify the many misconceptions that students can have. Teaching using figures activities draw on the figures in the student textbook to aid students in drawing conclusions from visual representations of data. And of course, the answers to all the analyze the data, apply the concept, and concept checkpoint book questions. And if the teacher's edition isn't enough, we also have the teacher's resource flash drive, which has a wealth of material. This full array of resources will help teachers plan their classes, present engaging lectures, and enliven class with interesting activities. What you'll find within the teacher resource flash drive is every figure and table from the textbook, including all the photos and unnumbered figures in both JPEG and PDF format, PowerPoint resources. For each chapter, there are many different PowerPoint presentations available for teachers to customize their presentation based on their teaching needs. These PowerPoints include the textbook figures and tables, lecture presentations, figures with editable labels, layered art figures, supplemental photos, and active learning exercises. And speaking of supplemental photos, there are over 1,500 photos in JPEG format, giving you a wealth of additional imagery to draw upon. All of the links and resources that are noted within the Teacher's Edition are compiled on the Teacher Resource Flash Drive. There are active learning exercises set up for easy integration into lectures. Each exercise poses a question or problem for the class to discuss or solve, and they all include a multiple choice element for easy use of a clicker system if you have one. And there is a media guide, which is a visual guide for the extensive media resources available within Principles of Life. Adoption of this textbook also comes with the ExamView assessment suite. If you haven't used ExamView before, you can write your own questions using this generator. All of the questions can be scrambled to create different versions of exams, and they can be administered in print or online. This particular test bank includes more than 75 AP-style exam questions, thousands of additional questions ranked according to Bloom's taxonomy, a wide range of multiple choice fill-in-the-blank and short answer, and it includes all of the Launchpad summative quiz and learning curve questions. If you're wondering what Launchpad and learning curve are, don't worry, we'll get into that later. But just to wrap it up, our Teachers program includes a Teachers Edition, a Teacher Resource Flash Drive, and an Exam View Assessment Suite. All of these resources are designed to save you time so you can focus on teaching. And here is the student program. Just so you know, Principles of Life was the first book to reflect the changes in the AP Biology redesign. It emphasizes biology's major concepts, and it is a much briefer book. And throughout the book, students will apply these concepts through data analysis and active learning. If you've seen the first edition, I just want to tell you a little bit what's new. Richard Hill is a new co-author, and he covers animal form and function, which is in part 5. There's, of course, thorough updating throughout, which brings in recent research relevant to all the essential concepts in biology. There's a new exciting feature with QR codes embedded within the text. This links students to relevant online content via a QR scanner or a smartphone, tablet, or other mobile device. And of course, this book is much more closely matched to the reform movement in biology education. There is an emphasis on essential content, conceptual approach, quantitative reasoning, process of science, active learning, higher order thinking, continual assessment, model and simulation in context, interdisciplinary perspective, and social relevance. And of course, we have a whole new suite of online pedagogy and a much more expanded supplement package. So let's talk about the hallmark features of the text. We'll go into each of these in depth. Starting with the opening story. All of the chapters will capture student attention from the outset with a story that sets up an interesting question in a recognizable real-world context. For example, how does caffeine work at the cell membrane? Students will revisit this question and its answer at the end of the chapter because they will have learned the necessary information to comprehend it. The key concepts. Every single chapter is organized into sections, each of which explore a single essential concept in light of established facts and relevant experiment evidence. The following features support the conceptual approach. You'll see the key concept list at the beginning of each chapter. The Do you understand the concept questions conclude each section, progressing from a simple recall question to questions that require critical thinking. The Apply the Concept critical thinking exercises are embedded within the chapter. These exercises ask students to interpret data and draw conclusions. These exercises can be used in class to stimulate class discussion or assigned as homework. And the key concepts are summarized with a thorough review of chapter content, including key figures, and will direct students to relevant resources online. Throughout Principles of Life, Research Tools is a feature that focuses on techniques and quantitative methods that scientists use to investigate biological systems. The Investigations feature describes key experiment hypotheses, methods, results, and conclusions. Analyze the Data are additional sections where students analyze real data from experiments. Working with data exercises turn these figures into in-class inquiry problems, discussions, and/or homework assignments. There are links throughout the text that cross-reference to show students the intricate nature of biology by referring them to a more thorough discussion of a key term elsewhere within the book. Teachable art. There's investigation, figures, and balloon captions. The investigation figures describe a key experiment, hypotheses, methods, results, and conclusions. The balloon captions in figures help students understand the story at a glance without necessarily relying on the associated text. Here's another image of the teachable art. Frontiers is a feature available in each chapter with real-world applications of important concepts to introduce students to the fascinating ongoing adventures of research. And as I mentioned earlier, the QR codes are embedded right within the text. There is a very funny video from chapter 23 entitled, Even Spiders Twerk. I promise, the content will get your students very interested. We also have a supplement that is available to be packaged with the student text. this is called our Strive for a 5 guide, which prepares students for the AP Biology exam. The first half of the book is a study guide and test preparation workbook that is designed for them to use throughout the entire year. It follows the textbook chapter by chapter, and it'll reinforce the book's key concepts and focuses on big ideas and learning objectives. What's also nice about Strive for a 5 guide is that it contains 2 full-length practice exams at the end. BFW technology. We're aware that every single school is in a different place regarding technology, so we have a variety of options available. It's very important that you communicate with your sales rep to tell them exactly what you expect, because we have a lot of solutions and we want to customize the perfect package for you. We have 2 different ebooks available, Adaptec and Launchpad. I'll start off talking about Adaptec and then I'll end with Launchpad. Adaptec stands for Educational Adaptable Textbook, and it is powered by Copia Class. We have a short video that shows exactly how Adaptec works, available on our website. However, if you would like to have sample access so you can preview it and test it out, we'd be more than happy to grant that for you. Just let us know. When a student is using Adaptec, they'll first see a course dashboard that has discussions and announcements from their instructor, but also shows all of their other BFW textbooks. The reason that Adaptec has its name is because it is device agnostic. Adaptec works on PC, Mac, iOS, and Android devices via an app. There's also a browser-based version coming very soon. Students have the ability to download their textbook to up to 4 devices, and once that textbook is downloaded, it's available offline. Adaptec allows students to have an entire classroom available through their app. This classroom experience allows for built-in tools that will help educators ensure that their students master the material. Some of these tools include the ability for students to collect notes, highlights, and links within a textbook. Their text is completely searchable. It has a text-to-speech capability and a multilingual dictionary. There is also, within the Teacher's Edition, an Add a Question feature, so an instructor can reach out to her students that way. Instructors can embed both multiple choice and open-ended questions, and they can personalize their teacher-student interaction within and outside the content. There's also the opportunity for in-depth discussions and feedback, because Adaptec is ultimately designed to foster a dynamic learning environment. Students themselves can also engage in conversation and interact through Adaptec. This is a great opportunity if you want to set up student groups. Another reason to set up student groups is so that you can offer differentiated instruction. In summary, Adaptec is available on multiple devices. Students can engage with Adaptec from up to 4 devices. There will also be a browser-based version that they can use coming very soon. All of the notes that they take when they're offline will sync to their personal notebook as soon as they reconnect to the internet. The textbook itself is available offline. The material is customizable to meet individual students' needs, and the Adaptec platform offers a teacher's ebook, which includes embedded resources at the point of use and mirrors the print teacher's edition. So remember the teacher's edition we talked about a few minutes ago? This is available in Adaptec format, and all of your resources are there right at your fingertips. And as an instructor, you have the opportunity to add your own resources, assessments, or any other enhancements. Extra student resources may also be embedded at point of use. Like I said before, the goal of Adaptec is to offer a connected classroom environment that allows for student, teacher, and classroom communication. Now we're going to talk about Launchpad. Launchpad is a little different from Adaptec. It is more of an online classroom space, and there are a lot of interactive features for both the students and the instructors. We'll touch on all of them shortly, but this is just a summary of all of the Launchpad for Students features, including a full ebook, glossary, flashcards, and quizzing. A complete online version of the textbook is integrated within Launchpad, and it includes all of the media resources and in-text links to all of the glossary entries with audio pronunciation, and flexible notes and highlighting features. In addition, instructors have the ability to customize this ebook, so you can easily hide chapters or sections that you're not covering in your course. The Principles of Life Launchpad also features Learning Curve. Learning Curve is a game-like adaptive quizzing that is available for every chapter of the text. What Learning Curve does is provide a unique learning path for every student because the quizzes are shaped by the individual's correct and incorrect answers. The less a student knows about a topic, the more Learning Curve will focus on it. And then the better a student does, the more difficult the questions will become. Feedback for each question includes live links to ebook pages relevant to the topic at hand, which will guide students to the reading they need to do to address areas that are giving them difficulty. There are also summative quizzing throughout the text, which are pre-built quizzes assessing overall student understanding of each chapter and provide instructors with data on class and individual comprehension of chapter material. Summative quizzes can be easily assigned as a pre- or post-lecture assessment. There are a range of interactive activities to help students learn and review key facts and concepts through labeling diagrams, identifying steps and processes, and matching concepts. The activities are assignable by the instructor and report to a gradebook when completed. The Analyze the Data features from the student text have online versions within Launchpad. These online versions of the Analyze the Data exercises ask students to work with data from published biological research and make their own connections between observations, analysis, hypothesis, and conclusions. All of these are available to be assigned by the instructor. There are in-depth animated tutorials that present complex topics in a clear, easy-to-follow narrative. Also included are interactive simulations of key systems and processes. Each animated tutorial includes a brief quiz that can be assigned. There is a brief multiple-choice quiz for each animated tutorial. The questions are listed with their Bloom's taxonomy level, and they can be edited and assigned. You can use these quizzes to confirm that students have completed the entire tutorial, and students can use them to make sure that they understand the tutorial's content. Available online as PDF files, the lecture notebook includes all of the students' figures and tables with space for note-taking. Math for Life is a collection of mathematical shortcuts and references to help students with the quantitative skills that they need in the biology laboratory. BioNavigator is a unique visual way to explore all of the animated tutorials and activities across the various levels of biological inquiry, from the global scale down to the molecular scale. There's a comprehensive set of flashcards for each chapter that provides students with an ideal way to learn and review the extensive terminology of introductory biology, featuring a review mode, a quiz mode, and a full list of terms and definitions with audio pronunciations. There's an overview of the experiments featured in each of the textbook's investigation figures with links to the original papers, relevant research, or applications that followed, and additional information related to the experiment. And a full searchable online glossary with links to cross-reference and audio pronunciation for all the terms. Media clips. These are short, engaging video clips that depict fascinating examples of some of the many organisms, processes, and phenomena discussed in the textbook. The Tree of Life is an interactive version of the Tree of Life from Appendix A within the student text. It has links to a wealth of information on each group listed. And those are all the student features within Launchpad. There are even more instructor features. When we talked earlier about the teacher resource flash drive, I listed a number of PowerPoints, figures and tables, and lecture presentations that were available to you. All of these are integrated within Launchpad, including the AP exam prep questions from the test bank. Because there are so many resources, we have a very powerful tool that cross-references all of the Teacher's Edition wraparound material to its textbook sections, wraparound content categories, AP Learning Objectives, and AP Science Practices. The Interactive Teacher's Edition Index will help you quickly find the resources for a specific topic or browse the resources across all topics and categories. 75 plus AP-style questions is going to be an invaluable resource for teachers. They cover all units of the textbook, and the questions are provided in multiple choice, grid-in, and free response formats. There are active learning exercises, which are set up for easy integration into lectures. Each exercise poses a question or a problem for the class to discuss or solve. Again, there are the figures in table PowerPoint, the figures with editable labels in PowerPoint format, layered art PowerPoint, lecture presentation PowerPoint, all of the supplemental photos, answers to the Appendix C exercises, answers to all of the textbook questions, and the Strive for a 5 answers. Of course, all of the Teacher's Edition links or resources are summarized as an easy-to-follow guide. Launchpad makes it easy to build custom assessments from the Principles of Life assessment resources. This test bank includes over 5,000 questions, all referenced to specific textbook sections. Each chapter includes a wide range of multiple choice, fill-in-the-blank, and short answer and essay questions, including diagram questions. In addition, questions from all of the learning curve activities and summative quizzes are included as additional question banks that instructors can draw upon when they're building quizzes and other assignments. There are many new videos for the second edition of Principles of Life, and these are all featured within Launchpad for Teachers. So to summarize briefly, Launchpad has the interactive ebook plus classroom resources, learning curve adaptive quizzing. Everything can be assigned and assessed. There's an easy-to-use gradebook. It has a streamlined interface that will help students manage their schedule of assignments. And there is a social opportunity as well, so students can connect with their classmates and learn from each other. The units are pre-built, which is an option for you as an instructor, but they're also easily customized. And there's quick access to all the carefully developed book-specific teaching support materials, and Launchpad can be easily integrated within a learning management system. Let's talk about professional development. The BSW Learning Library and YouTube page hosts a variety of videos that you can watch throughout the year to help with your course. We actually have an AP Biology webinar that will be coming up in early February. I highly encourage you to attend as our Teacher's Edition authors will talk about strategies for teaching a successful AP Biology course. This is updated throughout the year. Do you have any questions? Please reach out to Sarah Bumgardner, your publisher's representative. She can be reached by phone or by email. Or you can also go to our website as well. Thank you for sitting with us today. We really appreciate your time, and I hope I've answered all of the questions that you have about Principles of Life, Teacher's Edition, Student Edition, and online resources. But like I said, don't hesitate to reach out. We're happy to help.